What's up, everybody? Reality here. We're going to use the playoff predictor to talk about week one. So, first up, they got the Colts at the Texans. Now, the Texans aren't really any better than they were last year. Colts are my pick to win the division this year. So, we're going with the Colts. If Jonathan Taylor can play the way he played for the second half of the season last year, throughout the whole season, the Colts will be a tough team to deal with. They still have a top 10 defense. They now have Matt Ryan, which has to be an upgrade from Carson Wentz, in my opinion. They don't have T.Y. Hilton anymore, who they didn't really use last year much anyway. And the Texans, they got their 2 first-round draft picks to help the team out. But when it's said and done, I think the Colts get this victory. I think the Bengals win at home against the Steelers. I don't think Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett or whoever is going to be much of an upgrade from Ben Roethlisberger. The offensive line is very much improved for the Bengals. This is year 2 for Jamar Chase. I think they improved the secondary a little, not as much as they should have, but needless to say, I think the Bengals are the better team, and they come out with the win, even though I believe the Steelers probably have the number 1 defense in the NFL. It will be a good game. I haven't looked up the injury status of Najee Harris. That could also be a major impact to the Steelers' season. Now, moving on, I'm picking the Ravens against the Jets. They're talking about Zach Wilson possibly being at quarterback instead of Joe Flacco. C.J. Mosley looks like he's healthy, but the Jets are the Jets and the Ravens are the Ravens. People are forgetting, the same way they forgot about the 49ers last year, that the Ravens are a great team, and they just happen to be the most injured team in the NFL last year. So, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews. They also have I can't remember who else. They have Rashad Bateman and somebody else at wide receiver now. They got, I think J.K. Dobbins is going to be healthy. If not, they got Kenyon Drake and 1 or 2 other running backs. So far, everybody's healthy. I believe they have Marcus Peters, who was the first guy that went down with the season-ending injury for them last year. And as we move on, got the Dolphins. So the Patriots lucked their way into the 7th seed last year. They got annihilated by the Bills in the first week of the playoffs. The Dolphins still have a top 10 defense. They have Tyreek Hill now. They have 1 or 2 new options at running back, which are upgrades. The Patriots have lost a few defensive players. So I think this game goes to Miami. Patriots haven't been able to win in Miami in years, so no reason why I see Miami losing this game. Now, I believe the Raiders have more of a fan base than the Chargers do in the Charger Stadium, which is also shared with the Rams. I think the Chargers are overall going to finish the season with a better record due to their schedule, but I slightly think the Raiders are a better team. The Raiders beat the Chargers last year to make the playoffs, and it was an insane game. Justin Herbert came back at the end to bring it to overtime. It was just an insane game, but I've been picking the Raiders to win week one. It's going to be a great game, possibly the closest game of week one. I can't wait to watch it and see how it unfolds. Of course, this Thursday, the season officially starts with the Bills and the Rams. The Rams lost Robert Woods and have turned Odell Beckham Jr. into Allen Robinson. They've lost Von Miller and replaced him with somebody else. I forget who it is, but somebody of basically equal talent. And then picking the Bills here. The Bills lost Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders, but they got Gabriel Davis, and Gabriel Davis scored 4 touchdowns in, was it the game against the game against the Chiefs, where they ended up losing in overtime. So I think they'll be pretty good. I mean, the Bills have been the best team, especially like last year. And I don't really know what else to say about this game other than the fact that this one is almost as evenly matched as the Raiders-Chargers game, but I think the Bills are going to win it. Next, we got the Jags and Washington. This game is also, I believe, insanely even on both sides of the ball. But here you got the Super Bowl contender, you got the playoff contender, and then you got these two guys who probably are maybe hoping to get wild card 7 in their respective conferences. Nonetheless, I think they are very even teams. Washington has upgraded Heineke to Wentz. Their weapons look amazing. The Jags, they've gotten a lot of weapons on both sides of the ball. And same thing, I think Washington can win. But I've been picking the Jags all week to take this one. And then also, hoping Washington loses because I'm personally a New York Giants fan. So, division rival Washington, hoping they lose. We got the Browns at the Panthers. This should be a really good game. Both have really good defenses, really good running backs, and this game might be different if Deshaun Watson was there. But we got Baker Mayfield trying to get revenge to the Browns organization, and I hope the Panthers walk out victorious. Now we have the Cardinals hosting the Chiefs. The Cardinals are without DeAndre Hopkins, and the Chiefs have replaced Tyreek Hill with Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, this is a complete unknown factor. We don't know if the quarterback made the man. Tyreek Hill's one of the fastest, if not the fastest player in the NFL, and Juju Smith-Schuster was really good back in the days when he was the number 2 guy with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But now with somebody like Pat Mahomes throwing in the ball, maybe he'll be phenomenal. Otherwise, the Chiefs still have McCole Hardman, Travis Kelce, and everybody else that made the Kansas City Chiefs who they are. So, at full strength last year, said the Chiefs are better than the Cardinals. So that's the case. Chiefs are winning. Now, here we have the Titans against our New York Giants. And the Titans have lost Julio Jones. The Titans have lost A.J. Brown. They drafted somebody who's supposed to be one of the best wide receivers in the rookie class this year, but it still leaves them a little short. The Giants have a whole new coaching staff. Head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. It's a change of everything. We're starting the season as healthy as we would like to be, I believe. I don't know if Thibodeau is playing. I think this game is going to be really, really close. I think it's a good weighing of the scales for the season. I believe if the Giants can win this game, we'll have a decent season. I believe if we lose this game, we probably won't have a decent season. And for the sake of argument, the only thing the Giants have to do is win the turnover battle and be able to stop Derrick Henry. Other than that, I'm excited to see what the new improved offensive line can do for Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has Kadarius Toney, Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton. I believe our offensive weapons outside of Derrick Henry are way better than the Titans, and I believe the defensive weapons are better as well. So overall, that would make the New York Giants a better team than the Tennessee Titans. It's just very hard to believe that the Giants, who have been a laughingstock the last 5 years, can honestly beat the Titans, who have been a playoff team. But with the things I have stated, being an optimistic Giants fan, I truly think, with all bias aside, the Giants can pull off the victory here. Now, we have the Denver Broncos versus the, I should say, the Seattle Seahawks. This was going to be a double revenge game with Drew Lock playing against Russell Wilson, but Geno Smith has won the quarterback competition, and Geno Smith is Geno Smith. He didn't look that bad in the game where Russ went down last year. He was able to connect with DK Metcalf. There's a lot of people predicting the Broncos to win the Super Bowl or win the division or whatever. I don't believe in that hype. But now, with Geno Smith being the quarterback, the Broncos, they still got Melvin Gordon and their other running back and Jerry Jeudy and everybody else that they have over there. I think you have to give the game to the Broncos, even though I would still like to see Seattle upset them. Seattle has Jamal Adams and Tyler Lockett, and if Geno Smith can make moves on the offense, they'll have a fighting chance. Now, the Bears, who I believe are the worst team in the NFL, they have literally lost everybody. They've lost Tariq Cohen, Allen Robinson, a lot of their defensive stars. The Bears only won like 4 games last year. 5 games, something like that. I don't think they're going to win more than 2 games this year, if any at all. And I have the 49ers making the Super Bowl. Back when I thought the quarterback was Jimmy Garoppolo. Here's to hoping Trey Lance ends up being a better quarterback. I don't know. I'm not confident in saying that he will be. But this game should be won by the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers went to the NFC Championship game. The Bears did not make the playoffs. And the Bears are a way worse team now than they were last year. The 49ers might be a better team than they were last year, and that I believe they should have played in the Super Bowl last year. They should have either lost to the Bengals or beat the Bengals or whatever, but I currently have the Bengals beating the 49ers in the Super Bowl this year. That is my pick. Here we have the Eagles at the Lions. The Eagles are a very, very good team on paper. And the Eagles, we all know back in the Nnamdi Asomugha days, were the dream team, right? And they didn't do much with that. So they, per Pro Football Focus, I believe, they're rated the second best offensive line in the league. And that is why Jalen Hurts was able to run all over the place last year. But the Eagles, they did not win the division last year. The Cowboys did. I think the Eagles can win the division this year because the Cowboys took a step back. Eagles took a step forward. They got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, and they even got some names on defense. They got James Bradbury from the Giants. So the Lions, they got DJ Chark, they got Amon-Ra St. Brown, they got obviously Aiden Hutchinson, I believe it was, and a few other people. I would love to see the Lions upset the Eagles. The Lions are home. The Eagles are a division rival. Now, we gave the game to the Jags. We gave the game to the Giants. We're going to give this game to the Lions. They got TJ Hawkinson. I believe this game will be a 3-point game no matter who ends up winning. But moving on. I think the Falcons would win this game if they had Calvin Ridley. They have Cordero Patterson. They have Pitts. They have Drake London, the number one wide receiver off the board this year. But they're going against, it appears to be Alvin Kamara, didn't get suspended for his DUI. Jameis Winston, Michael Thomas is going to see the field for the first time in almost 2 years. They got Chris Olave, and the Saints defense is still pretty good. So I don't see a way that the Saints lose this game. Moving on, the Green Bay Packers starting wide receiver now is Allen Lazard. They also lost Equanimeous St. Brown. So Randall Cobb is there. Sammy Watkins is there. Sammy Watkins has been very quiet most of his career, but maybe with A-Rod throwing him the ball, that could change some things. The Minnesota Vikings, however, they have Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. They've been a contender for a while. I personally think that now, especially with home field advantage, they might be a better team than Green Bay. We're going with the Minnesota Vikings here. I've been going with the Minnesota Vikings all offseason, so that's the pick. And now here, Cedric Wilson is off the team. Amari Cooper is off the team. Gallup is hurt. This means CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz are the only familiar targets. Ezekiel Elliott is getting older. Tony Pollard's getting older. The offensive line is banged up. The defense is banged up. Things aren't really going well for the Cowboys. Now, the Bucks, they lost Jason Pierre-Paul. I don't know how much value he would hold this year. The Bucks lost Antonio Brown, but they replaced him with Julio Jones. They're going to have Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. They lost Rob Gronkowski, but they got Kyle Rudolph, and they still have Cameron Brate. Tom Brady, of course. Leonard Fournette. They replaced Rojo with Giovanni Bernard. And the Bucks are still a phenomenal team. The Bucks beat the Cowboys last year. I think they definitely beat them this year. And that wraps up week 1, guys. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you subscribe to the channel. And we'll see how many picks I get right as football season is here. This Thursday, this Sunday, this Monday. Enjoy. Like, subscribe, share with a football friend. Thank you very much.